Hi, my angels. Now, today I want to talk to you about something that I feel like comes up a lot in the law of assumption and manifestation space when you are manifesting. So, if you understand manifestation, maybe you're affirming, you visualize, you know about the law of assumption, but there's still just this tiny part of you that keeps asking, where is it? Why isn't it here yet? Am I even doing this right? So, if that's you, then this video is for you because this is not a discipline issue. And it's not that you're doing anything wrong. And it's not that manifestation just doesn't work for you. It's honestly that your brain is stuck in the wrong mode. So once you understand this, manifesting stops feeling like something that you just have to keep forcing, and it starts feeling like something you can actually rest inside of. Now, most people are going to think that they're just bad at checking the 3D because they're just so impatient, they're weak, or they're just bad at persisting. But that is not what is happening. You are simply checking because your brain is trying to protect you. Now, there is a part of the brain called the default mode network. And this part of the brain is always responsible for replaying the past, predicting outcomes, rehearsing disappointment, and scanning for evidence. So its job is not to make you happy and make sure you're in this state of wish fulfilled all the time. Its job is honestly to make sure you're not surprised, rejected, or caught off guard again, because when that happened, it was so alarming for you. So when you're manifesting something new, unfamiliar, or emotionally charged, so anything like love, money, safety, or stability, this part of your brain is now going to go on high alert because this is where your thoughts come from that say, like, don't get your hopes up, or maybe you should send that text, or check again, make sure nothing's wrong, or what if this doesn't even work? And that voice is not your intuition. It is still protection. And this is why, even when you swear you know the law, your body is still going to want proof. Now, something really important for you to understand is that your brain operates in two main modes. One is simulation, and the other is direct experience. Now, your simulation mode is going to be your imagination, prediction, rehearsal, and future casting. This is where all of that overthinking really lives. And then your direct experience mode is presence, embodiment, action, and receiving. And this is where your life actually gets to happen. So manifestation does not work through simulation, it works through occupation because you don't manifest by imagining a life and then leaving it to go check the mirror. You manifest by being able to occupy and inhabit the state. So if your brain is stuck simulating instead of inhabiting, you're going to feel like you're always almost there. And that is why I feel the in between period is where most people end up feeling stuck because you'll notice some people seem to manifest just effortlessly, while others feel like they really have to take action for things to move. Now, this doesn't mean that one group is doing it wrong and one's doing it right. It just means different nervous systems need different bridges into embodiment. So for some people, action is something that really helps them enter their identity. And for others, taking action keeps them stuck monitoring outcomes because the action is not ultimately what manifests, though, the identity does. Now, sometimes the action is the doorway to the identity, but it's never the cause because the problem comes from when the action is coming from trying to force or control or checking, and that's not embodiment. That's just fear wearing productivity clothes. Now, this really showed up recently with a client of mine because she was manifesting money and a job change while on a work visa. So there was so much pressure, deadlines, and a lot at stake. So her brain was constantly scanning, what if it doesn't work? What if I miss my window? What if I mess this up? Do I need to be taking more action? Now, she took the action before we were working together by applying for these jobs she knew she didn't want, and she felt like she needed to just keep doing something. But these actions were not ever coming from the right identity. And she wasn't failing at manifestation. Her nervous system just didn't feel safe not watching. So once she understood that her brain was protecting her, not sabotaging her, everything was able to really shift because we stopped trying to convince her mind. We focused on containment. So less monitoring, less checking, more grounding into the identity of this works for me and allowing her nervous system to feel safe in that. So the shift didn't come from all of this effort. It came from allowing uncertainty to exist without spiraling or latching onto that identity. So now, a few weeks later, she just called me just to tell me that the job came through, the move resolved, and it wasn't because she tried harder, but it was because she stopped living in this rehearsal mode. So, yes, she wavered. She was trying to take action, but she still got what she wanted because she allowed herself to go all in with this identity. So, the core takeaway that I want you to hear clearly is with the law of assumption, it's going to work when you are residing in a state, not when you are visiting it and then you're leaving to go check the mirror immediately. Because checking the 3D every single time is you leaving the state. Energetically, you are telling yourself, I don't live here yet. So your nervous system is always learning from repetition, not logic. So even if you think it's something really small, I want you to understand that every time you're checking, you're teaching your nervous system this is not yet safe to trust. So manifestation is not about convincing your mind, it's about teaching your body I can genuinely stay here even when nothing has changed yet. And you are not stuck because you have these thoughts. You are stuck because your brain is believing that safety equals this visible proof. And manifestation doesn't happen when the voice disappears, it happens when your decision can outlast the commentary. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, I see myself in this. Now what? This is where I want you to pull out your notebook or your notes app because I want you to be able to really take in the embodiment that you need to have. That way you can move into simulation mode, move out of simulation mode. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to stop fighting with the thoughts. I want you to name it. So when the thoughts are coming up, like it's not here yet, nothing's changed, where is it? Don't argue with it. I want you to just say, okay, this is my brain trying to protect me. This is rehearsal, not reality. Or however you want to frame it that works for you. The key in this is to make sure you are stopping the loop and cutting it completely because naming it is going to pull you out of default mode and back into your body because you don't need to convince this thought, you need to unidentify from it. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to shorten your assumption window because a lot of people struggle because they are trying to assume forever. Okay, your nervous system does not trust that. So instead, assume in small, safer windows. So for the next 10 minutes, I don't need to check. Or for the rest of this walk, if you're regulating by a walk, I know that I'm fully supported. Or for today, this works out for me. Because your identity is genuinely built through repeated short stays, not this big giant leap. Because if you want sustainability and you struggle with viewing what you're manifesting as something that is far out of reach for you, that is going to help your body actually feel safe, keeping it and pulling in movement. So the next thing is I want you to replace checking with body contact because the mental chatter is mental contact. Now, embodiment is sensory contact. So when the urge to check comes up, you need to make sure you're grounding yourself in some way. So you need to make sure you're planting your feet or touching something solid, slow your breath, orient to the room, go to the bathroom, put some water on your face, even just placing your hand on your heart because you're teaching your brain that I'm here, I'm safe, and I don't need to scan. So this is how you're going to shift from simulation into the direct experience. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is stop asking, do I believe this? Okay, because belief is such a mind question for yourself. And that's why you'll hear so many people say, like, I don't think that I fully believe this before I manifested it because really it's your body caring about something else. So instead of trying to push all of these things away, I want you to ask yourself, can I stay with this feeling without spiraling? Can I let this be unresolved and still be okay for this moment? Because manifestation stabilizes when your body learns it can tolerate the in between. It's nothing that you need to fear. And finally, you're going to let your identity lead, not effort. So if your practices feel tense, obsessive, or compulsive, pause because that's not alignment. You're still going into protection mode. Identity is going to feel really quiet, less urgent, and definitely less performative because you don't need to keep doing more. You need to just be able to stay with yourself longer. So, if this video hit, it does not mean you're bad at manifesting. I wanted to make a short video to remind you that your mind is so powerful and powerful minds need containment, which is why I created the Containment Method course because you don't need to keep coming from this place of pressure because manifestation isn't about proving it works. It's about letting yourself live from the place where it already does and realizing you have nothing to prove to literally anyone. So I know this video hit, and if you want to work with me one-on-one, I do offer one-on-one coaching. And I just know that this video is going to really help you if you're struggling with trying to take action or you feel like you're stuck in the in between. I know that when you pair neuroscience and the law of assumption with this stuff, it can actually give you a good platform to go to and actually take away tangible things that you can implement with yourself while you're on this journey. So I know this video just unlocked an aha moment for all of you guys. I really appreciate you. And until next time, my angels.